I felt this whole weight being lifted off my shoulders and my heart burning with fire. I, at that moment, accepted my situation and was determined to get out of it. After eating a meal, I decided to take a little nap. But later when I woke up, I wasn't in the kitchen anymore. I wasn't even in the dojo. I was in the forest. At midnight, I sat up and looked at a note that was right next to me. It read, "Head south from this location back to the dojo once you escape the bear. Good luck." What? Before I could even comprehend what I just read, all I hear is a bear roaring to my left. Hey, what's good? I'm gonna be telling you about my weight loss journey. Yes, I too know how it feels to go to store trying to find clothes that fit. And then when you find something, that should be ugly. But in this video, I'll be showing y'all my story and what I did to get to where I am now. So let's start before quarantine, when I was at my biggest. So on a school night where I was walking home, I was trying to get home as soon as possible. So I was taking shortcuts. But the area I'm from ain't the safest in New York. So while I was cutting through an alleyway, a whole bunch of gang members arose from the shadows. They then pressed me to give them all my money. But just like now, I was broke. So they jumped and beat me up. So after a minute of getting brutally beat up, they threw me out the alleyway. I thought I was dead. But I managed to pick myself up and walked home. I was hurt physically and mentally. I also didn't want to tell my mom because I knew she would be even more upset than I was. I didn't know what to do. But when I sat down on my computer and watched my favorite YouTubers, there was this ad that popped up that changed my life forever. The ad went like this. "Look at you. Disgusting. Do you have no shame? And here I thought you wanted to win. Be more than who you are. Be more than your environment. Be more than more. But you're just sitting on your butt. Pathetic. Listen and listen closely. The world is a terrible and nasty place and you're living in it. You say you want to be a different animal but the same beast, but you're not doing anything about it. You're letting life kick you to your knees each and every single time you run. If you're mad right now, then good. That shows you have some kind of integrity. And this is what you need right now more than anything in the world. And I got the perfect thing for you. Then here you go. Join my dojo at 2306 Lakers Avenue and bring at least 10. As soon as I got the address, I jumped out my window and walked to the dojo. Even though it was far away from my place, my determination overpowered any doubt I had. And just at the crack of dawn, I made it to the dojo. I knocked on the door and waited. No one answered. I checked on my phone to see if I was at the right spot, and I was. So I decided to knock again, but louder. But the same thing happened, and it hit me. I thought to myself that he was testing my resilience and seriousness about changing my life. So this must be the first test. So with this mindset, I started punching the door. And then when I was about to stop, he slammed the door open in my face. He then walked out yelling, telling me to leave him alone. I got up and told him I was there for the training. He asked me why I came to his front door so early, and I told him that I was serious about changing my life, specifically the direction where my life was going. He said fine, but as I was approaching his door, he told me I need to pay him first. I was stunned. I told him about how I got beat up. He just brushed me off and told me to come back when I get some paper, and then complained about how I wasted his time while closing the door on me. I was defeated. So while I was walking, trying to think of something, I tripped over a trash can, but when I got up, I saw $1,000 in Monopoly money. Hey, if I was gonna go outside, I'ma at least exhaust all my options. I went back to the dojo and knocked again. When he opened and saw me, he looked mad as shit. I asked him how much I gotta pay, and he said a band. I then took out the money and gave it to him. I noticed he didn't have his glasses on like he did before, so I thought it would work. Until he asked how I got the money so fast. I hesitantly told him I robbed somebody, and he said I bet. He said it was none of his business. I followed him inside, and he told me I was actually his first student. I asked him when we started, and he said now. He all of a sudden dropped the floor beneath me, causing me to fall into a deep hole. He said that he estimates that I'll climb out by midnight. I yelled out how I was supposed to get out, but he just told me to climb out like Spider-Man. After hours of continuous falling, I eventually made it out with my fingers hurting. I was so relieved at first, but when I looked to my left, I saw him chilling on the couch. He then saw me and said to meet him outside. I was confused as to why he wanted me outside right after I just got done with that horrific event, but I just followed him outside and trusted the process. When we got outside, he told me to sit down while holding onto a rope. I was like, ain't no way he wants me to do that. While holding onto the rope, my hands were killing me. As he was walking back into the dojo, he said that if the brick breaks or is touching the floor when he gets back in the morning, then I ain't eating breakfast. I tried to warn him about my hands, but he just went in and shut the door. I was sitting there exhausted, dehydrated, scared. Man, I thought I was gonna die. I sat there for hours and hours, constantly hitting my head with the brick. Pause. getting no sleep whatsoever. Eventually, dawn creaked and the old man came around. Pause. With the brick sitting on top of my head and my eyes barely open, I heard him say good enough and told me to come inside the crib. But as soon as I went inside, I knocked out right on the floor. Then all of a sudden, I woke up with a brick hitting my face. Pause. I got up and saw that I was in the kitchen. I sat down on the table and the old man gave me oatmeal with eggs on the side and a piece of bread. In the middle of me telling him if I could at least get some fruits and sugar, he yelled at me saying that I should never drop the brick. He then took his plate filled with fried chicken tenders with pancakes and a cup of hot chocolate and went to sit on the couch. At that moment, I started to doubt that this training was actually worth it. But as soon as I was walking to the bathroom, I saw a message on the TV that changed my whole perspective. It said, "The shots you don't make, you'll miss all of them." Then out of nowhere, I felt this whole weight being lifted off my shoulders and my heart burning with fire. I, at that moment, accepted my situation and was determined to get out of it. After eating the meal, I decided to take a little nap. But later when I woke up, I wasn't in the kitchen anymore. I wasn't even in the dojo. I was in the forest. At midnight, I sat up and looked at a note that was right next to me. It read, "Head south from this location back to the dojo once you escape the bear. Good luck." What? Before I could even comprehend what I just read, all I hear is a bear roaring to my left. I was running through the forest with my heart beating out of my chest, trying my hardest to get away. But that bear was just too damn strong, destroying everything in its path. Then for some reason in my panicked mind, I decided to use my inherited ability to climb a tree. But as expected, the bear rammed into the tree, causing me to fall, almost hitting a rock. But luckily, I was able to hide behind the rock. Eventually, the bear went away and I booked it to the dojo. When I got back inside, I was tired and shit. The old man told me that was just the beginning and to expect more to come. And he was not lying. For the next 6 months, he was putting me through rigorous challenges. To name a couple, he made me walk on burning rocks barefoot while holding dumbbells, row a boat with sharks in the water, and they even made me push his old car through the desert. Man, I was going through it. But it all paid off at the end though. Stick around for part 2 cause it gets even better. That's when I get my get back.